Welcome back, everyone. On tonight's video, we're going to do a little service on my wife's 2018 Honda Odyssey minivan. So our service tonight is going to be oil and filter change. So for this project, what I use is some rags, rubber gloves, filter wrench to get the filter off, 17mm wrench or socket. I like using a wrench on this vehicle. The appropriate oil and amount, and your filter that you need for it. And under the vehicle I have my drain pan, and I already have a light under there so I can see. A lot of times I just use a headlamp, but for the video I chose to use the trouble light this time. And for video purposes on this, typically when I change the oil, I'll turn her wheels all the way to the left, and I'm sorry, all the way to the right. My left when I'm facing this way, and I can get to the filter that way. But for the video, I'm gonna, while the oil's draining, I'm gonna take that tire off so you guys can see where you need to get into to change this filter. That's gonna be our process tonight. Let's get started with getting this oil drained. Okay, with me down here, my drain pan's close. We're just gonna loosen this oil plug, which is right here, and for anybody that doesn't know where it is, it is labeled right here on the bottom of the oil drain pan. The plug is right here. Give that a tap. Slowly unscrew this. So we're just going to let that oil drain. Okay, that oil is pretty much done draining. So we're going to start the drain plug back in without cross-threading. So on the drain plug, there is a washer on there. Some people change them every time. I don't. I check and make sure they look good. I check under here frequently. If I see it's starting to leak a little bit, then I'll change them, but I don't change them every time. Okay, so I'm trying to get you a better angle here. So here's where it says engine oil, and there's the plug. So I've got that finger tight, and then I just snug it up a little bit. Okay, a little recap here. So we loosened the drain plug, put the drain pan under it, took the drain plug all the way out, let the oil drain, cleaned the drain plug up, inspected the washer that's on there, looked in good shape, so we didn't replace it. And on this vehicle, in case you're looking for it, like I said before, here it says engine oil as an arrow to where you drain it. So to get you a view back here before we get started, so typically, obviously the tire's on here, covering all this area. And on probably 99% of these vehicles, you have to take this splash guard off to get to the filter. But thankfully, somebody before we bought it, they cut a section of it out so you can get right to the filter. So like I say, normally, I will have these wheels turned out, and that gives me enough room to get in there and get that filter off and get the new one on. But for the video, I took the tire off just for the video so you guys could see it better. Okay, so a little tip that I have found is, so first I get my drain pan under there, and I will take either saran wrap or just the plastic bag that they gave me at the auto parts store. When I pick this stuff up, I put it under here, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Okay, now let's get this filter loosened up. Right there is why I put plastic on it. If not, that runs all over that cross member, and just it's a pain to get it cleaned up. So in a couple days, when you see oil dripping, do you have a leak, or is it still oil that was all over that cross member? Then I just slowly turn the filter out, keeping a hold of it so when it does come unthreaded, it doesn't fall out of your hand. Okay. So filter's off. But we need to make sure that this O-ring here stays on the filter, or you check the filter to make sure. If it's not there, you take it, make sure it's not stuck on there, because a lot of times, depending on how tight they put them on there, how long it's been on there, they can stick to here, and if you don't notice it on the filter that it's missing, when you put the new filter on, you can have a leak there. So we made sure that's not stuck on there. New filter with O-ring on it. So what I do is I just get some of that oil off there, a little oil on my finger, and I run it around that gasket. Start this filter on. Make sure we don't cross thread it. So that gasket's touching now. It's kind of snug. Now you only need like a half a turn here, but I give it about 3/4 of a turn. You don't have to have a filter wrench on there and tighten them down as hard as you can. I think I was told by a mechanic once you only need 1/4 of a turn, but to me that just doesn't seem like enough. Maybe it is, but to me it doesn't. And yeah, filter's on now. So let me get a new pair of gloves. That's why I take my gloves off, because my gloves are oily and I can't get a good grip on that oil filter. So I take my gloves off on that clean filter, and my hands are a little stickier because they're sweating in those gloves, and I can get a good grip on that and tighten it. Let's get this out of here. All clean. No oil spilled all over it. You just imagine, you saw all that oil that came out of that filter. That would be everywhere, and you would never be able to get it all out of there. A couple days you'd have drips on the floor thinking you have a leak, but that does wonders. And also, whoever cut this notch out, maybe they should make new vehicles like that with the notches already built in. But I guess their intents with that splash guard there is to try and protect that filter and stuff, but it's a pain trying to change it with that there. Okay, another short recap from here. So, like I said, we removed the tire just so you guys could see this better. Typically you'd have to remove some of this to get in there, but somebody cut holes in it. Makes it easy access. I placed the bag from the auto parts store over there that they gave me the filter in, and removed the filter. All the oil ran all over there. Took the filter out, made sure the gasket wasn't stuck up on the motor there. New filter, we used some of the oil and lubed up that gasket on the new filter. Threaded the filter on, made sure we didn't cross thread it while we were starting it. Tightened it up hand tight about 3/4 of a turn after it's snug. And removed that plastic bag, and we can see there was no oil running all over that cross member there or any of the undercarriage of the car. So now we're ready to fill it back up with oil. So here, I'm going to get this tire on quick, get the drain pan out from under there and lower the car back down level, so when we fill the oil up, we'll have a level car and we'll know our oil level's correct. Okay, so now we're ready to add the oil. So a couple things that I forgot to tell you in the beginning was we need a clean funnel, and I pulled the dipstick out a little bit and I loosened the oil fill cap just so it doesn't create like a vacuum. It gets some airflow through there so all that oil drains out. But on this vehicle, here is the oil fill cap. So that fill cap is down in here. And when you're taking this off, be very careful. Turn it slow and keep a grip on it, because I have just spun it off and it drops down in there, and believe me, it does not just fall on the ground. It goes into a spot, a hole, up in something where it takes you 2 hours to figure out where it fell to. Believe me, I did that once and I won't do it again. And on this vehicle, you need a long funnel like this to get down into there, because my other funnel that I normally use has a big wide mouth on it, but it's short and it doesn't fit down there. So you need a long funnel to get down in there like that. Okay, so we drained the oil, we put the drain plug back in tightened it down, removed the filter, let the oil drain out, made sure the gasket was not stuck to the motor, put on the new filter, tightened that down, and like I say, for the video purposes, I had the tire removed. I put that back on car's level, and we can add our oil now. And I know this vehicle takes 5 quarts, so, and this is a 5-quart jug. So we're just gonna slowly start to add the oil here. So I got all the oil in, but I like to leave the oil jug upside down like that while it gets the little bit out of the can that's in there, and also I let it run off the funnel into the motor, so when I pull that out it doesn't drip all over the place. So we'll let that set for a second and we'll be right back. And what I like to do is I have my rag here ready, and kind of do this little quick here so I can catch if anything drip. Okay, so I like to put my fill plug back in for one thing so I don't forget it, and another so something doesn't fall into your motor there. Okay, so I guess I gotta cut this video a little short because my wife needs to take the vehicle to go pick up my youngest from basketball practice. So, little recap here. So I showed you where the drain plug was. We removed the drain plug, drained the old oil out. While that was draining for video purposes, I removed that wheel while that was happening. Once the oil was done draining, we inspected the drain plug washer. That was still in good shape, so I didn't replace it. Put the drain plug back in. I don't torque them. If you want to torque yours, or a lot of times your dealers will, you can call your dealer or look on the internet to see your torque specs for that. After that, we removed the filter. I showed you about putting the plastic down over the cross member part there on the car, and once the filter was out, we made sure the gasket came with it. Put a little oil on the new gasket, threaded the new filter on, made sure we didn't cross thread it, snugged it up, and then I did about 3/4 a turn by hand. I don't feel you need to use a filter wrench with it, but if you want a filter wrench on it, by all means do it however you want. Like I say, I was told by a mechanic in the past that you only need a 1/4 turn once that gasket's snug. I do about 3/4. If you really tighten them down in 3 months, 4 months, whatever it takes you before your new oil change, that might be a pain to get off if you tighten it too much. So after the filter was on, we added the oil. Like I say, your oil fill cap will tell you what weight oil you need, or your car manual, and your manual should tell you how much you need. If not, you can research that on the internet or call your dealer. So we added the new oil in. We're gonna leave that set for a little bit. I'll check the level. I usually let the car sit outside and run for 5 minutes or so, bring it back in, let it all settle, and then I'll check the oil. But my wife's gonna drive a mile down the road to pick up my son, so I'll check it when she gets back. Another thing I do is the jug that the new oil came in, I have the funnel in it now, and I'll just put my old oil in there, clean up my drain pan, and then I'll take that to local auto parts store where you can drop it off to recycle the oil. I save all my old rags from doing this. I don't throw them away as they're dirty, and I clean out my drain pan with them, then I throw them out. Yeah, thanks for watching. It's been a little while since I uploaded a video. It was hunting season, Christmas, all that. We're really busy with sports right now in the winter, but hopefully we'll get some more videos out. Let me know what you think of the video. Did you like anything I can do different that you guys do? Anything you liked? Hopefully I helped somebody out. This is really easy to do. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.